This is something I grew up eating as a child. This is beef stroganoff. It's really, really delicious, and let's get into this. First, I'm going to start by turning my pan on, or the heat, and I'm going to turn it to probably a medium-high heat. Give it a good spray with some olive oil spray. And I'm going to start with some sliced purple onion. You could use yellow if you like. This is a half of a medium-sized onion. I'm going to add some baby Bella mushrooms. You could use regular if you like, and this is optional. You want to make sure you saute your onions until they're completely softened. You do not want no crunch whatsoever. And if you don't prefer this many onions, you could always use half this amount. And always keep in mind the mushrooms are completely optional. You could leave them out, you could add them in, you could use half of those as well. I sliced this myself. This was a top sirloin petite steak. You could use whatever type of beef that you could actually saute and put in the sauce and just keep it kind of nice and tender. Any steak will do. 2 cloves of garlic chopped, a half teaspoon of onion powder, a half teaspoon of garlic powder, and yes, I'm using both fresh garlic and powder. Salt, pepper, you don't want to cook this for very long. You just want to kind of brown the outside of whatever type of beef you're using. And just make sure the outside is nice and browned. You don't want to overcook it, so just brown it up a bit. And then we're ready for the other ingredients. Adding 1 teaspoon of ground mustard. I know a lot of people don't cook with ground mustard, but this is what it's looking like right here. Toss it all together and get that mixed in. And then I'm going to go ahead and move everything to the side of the pan so I have this little area right here. And then we're going to make a roux. Maybe a tablespoon and a half of butter. You could use real butter, you could use butter substitute, whatever butter you like. You want this on a medium heat so your butter melts, and you could add your flour. So I'm going to be using maybe a tablespoon of flour. That'll be good enough. You could use any type of basic flour you like. I'm using whole wheat. And you just want to make sure it cooks up and it gets mixed in before you add your broth. And I'm going to go ahead and add some beef broth. A regular can of beef broth. And I'm going to eyeball it. If you want measurements, it's probably going to be maybe 1/4 of a cup or 1/3, depending on how it's looking. So I'm going to go ahead and add a bit. This is probably going to be about 1/4 of a cup. And just mix it in and bring your heat up. You want to give it a good mix and make sure your flour is nice and mixed because we made the flour in the butter mixture. Now we're going to add some sour cream. I'm using light sour cream. You could use full fat if you like. And I'm going to go ahead and add probably 1/3 cup. Or maybe a half a cup. You just want to mix this in. The sour cream is basically probably one of the main ingredients as far as my opinion. So I'm going to add a bit more, not only to thicken this, but for more taste. So this is just probably another dollop. And you could adjust it how you like. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that in. And now you want to kind of give it a taste test just to see what you need more of. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this a bit. And I'm going to give it a taste test. So I'm going to go ahead and just... It's tasting really good already. But I feel it needs a bit more mustard and some salt. Ground mustard. And just sprinkle a bit on. Add a bit more salt. Some pepper. This is something new I've been adding. So this is the salt-free dash flavorful onion and herb blend. Yes, I do like it. So I'm going to add a bit of that. You just want to mix everything. Bring it to a boil. And then turn the heat down to simmer, or the lowest heat that you have. And you're going to cover it for about 10 minutes and you're done. This is my take on beef stroganoff. It's really, really good. I love mine with some mashed potatoes, but you could always use pasta. A lot of people use egg noodles, or you could even have it with rice. It's really, really good. You're going to love it. Try it, and I'll see you in my next video.